Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good. And in this case, we're talking about supporting our wounded veteran heroes. That's why we're honored to have with us our good friend, Davie Lieske, Business Development Director with Military Warriors Support Foundation. How are you doing, Dave?
Jeremy, how are you? Great to be with you again. Good to see you. I hear a lot of great things that are going on with City Current.
Well, you've been a big part of that. And when you look at all the things that you do on your end, it's absolutely impressive. It's amazing. It's inspiring. And so let's go ahead and start out. Military Warrior Support Foundation, give us a little background, give us a little history.
Yeah, so we've been around since 2007, started by three-star General Leroy Sisco. Almost 17 years now. It's hard to believe, but you know, the mission has always been to help combat wounded veterans transition from the military back to civilian life. So as you know, over the many, many years, there's been many combat wounded veterans that have been hit, and we've been there to take care of them. We've been doing it now for, like I said, 17 years. And the main mission has always been to support them across many different programs. And so we've been doing that. There's a number of things that we do. We work with some very large sponsors, banks and other companies to award mortgage-free homes. We've done over 1,000 mortgage-free homes now across every state in the country, helping them transition. And then we get into a lot of other different programs as well, payment-free vehicles, where, the home is great. It's worked out great for us, and we continue to do that. But a lot of our veterans tell us, you know what, we also need some transportation. So we've been able to team up with some local dealers here in Memphis, national dealers, where they donate vehicles, and we have the privilege of being able to donate them back to combat wounded veterans.
We've had the honor, the privilege of awarding keys to a mortgage-free home on the stage of a Signature Speaker Series event with one of our City Current events. We've done a lot with you. I know Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services, the company, does a lot as well when you talk about the mortgage-free homes. Let's start there, and then let's work our way through all the different programs, because there's a lot to unpack in terms of how you power the good. And so start with those mortgage-free homes and kind of how you source them, how the veterans and the combat wounded veterans are able to get them. So go ahead and walk us through that process.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's been a blessing being able to team up, obviously, with City Current. We did our first one here in Memphis, with FedEx, if you remember. That was amazing. And yeah, like you mentioned, Higginbotham has been a great partner as well. We'll see them again down at the Colonial here coming up at the end of the month. But so for Military Warriors, it's very important to be able to source the veterans who need these homes. It's very important. So for us, we have a very in-depth process. The applicant would begin to go ahead and online apply for the home. But then we have a big vetting department that goes through every avenue. As you can imagine, you want to make sure you get it right. And they're going through DD-214s and a lot of other military documents to make sure that everything's legit. But at the end of the day, it's designed to help the hero out and take care of their families. I'll say this, one of the things that separates us from others that do what we do, or, kind of piggyback a little bit on some of that, is our mentoring program. It's very important. So if you kind of look at a wheel per se, and the different spokes are the programs, the hub of that wheel is the mentoring program. It holds it all together. And so every combat wounded hero and their family goes through a 3-year mentoring program when we donate a home to them. The mentoring program is great because they meet with those advisors once a month or more if needed for 3 years. We help them reduce personal debt. To date, we've reduced over $28 million in personal debt. And what that does, Jeremy, as you know, is it sets them up to succeed. We've always thought that one of the worst things we could do is give somebody an asset and just leave them. because you want to make sure you set them up, and our sponsors and donors love that. We stay in touch with them. They stay in touch with them. Companies like FedEx have stayed in touch with them. And so that's the key to it. All of our programs include a mentoring program to be able to really help them sustain and stay grounded through the whole process.
Talk about the vehicles.
Yeah, we've done over 200 now across the country. And so it's picking up steam. We've been doing it now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And so it's been great because it's an avenue that addresses needs. There's a lot of our combat heroes that are dealing with PTSD. They've got some doctor visits, whether it's at the VA or local doctors, whatever. And they may not have a reliable source of transportation. And so that was a need that a lot of our heroes came to us many years ago and said, anything like that available? We made it happen. We got with a lot of key dealers and other banks that partnered with us on that. And at the end of the day, they each go through a mentoring program as well. So yeah, our payment-free vehicles, transportation for heroes program does exactly that. It provides payment-free vehicles to combat wounded veterans and their families. And it's been a great program for us.
You also mentioned reducing debt, and I think you can do this in a number of ways, which you're doing it through both the mortgage-free homes and the vehicles, but you also have other ways that the public can help and lower debt as well for these wounded heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we rolled out our new program recently called Hope for Heroes. And so Hope for Heroes really gets after those core needs of reducing debt. Obviously, it's no surprise about inflation and where we've been going, and what's hitting there. And our veterans and heroes are going through the same thing. They may be in an apartment, they may be in a home, they may obviously have a vehicle, but the Hope for Heroes program allows a sponsor to donate up to $25,000. That amount of money helps reduce that personal debt. So that a lot of times, as you can imagine, would set the family up to succeed and they're also going to go through a mentoring program. So all of our programs and heroes go through that so that we can guide them on the right path. But that's going to be a great program for us. We've rolled that out. We're rolling that out, and it allows people to help the hero without maybe providing an asset, really kind of dig in and reduce their debt.
Talk about the feedback you get from the veteran hero, the wounded warrior hero, but also to their family. Because when you look at the generational change, especially for the mortgage-free home, being able to have a vehicle, reduce the debt, right? Like there's a legacy piece here for the children. And so talk about the feedback you're getting from the individual and also their families.
Yeah, that's a huge piece. That's why we do it, right? I mean, what we do is come alongside the families and those who have gone through a tough time. The reality is, as you can imagine, that they're going through a tough time. They've been overseas, they've been hit, they've come home, they're combat wounded, and there's a lot of struggles that are happening. Can you imagine the relief that the family encompasses by hearing that, they're in an apartment or maybe even homeless. We've had veterans that are homeless to where they're combat wounded, they're homeless, or they're struggling, and now they receive a home. And it's incredible the amount of stories that have come out. The wives, the children. I'm so glad you mentioned generational, because that's exactly where we're at. And, we're hitting that 17-year mark now to where generations are starting to, the kids are getting older now, and they're starting to realize that they've now grown up in a secure home. And I want to just say this, that our sponsors that come alongside us meet the families, they see the result of that, and it makes a huge difference. It's everything and the reason that we do it. And that's the key to it, because if you're changing lives, that's key to what we do. That's why we do what we do.
You have the corporate relationships, but you also have some really cool music relationships. Touch on some of those aspects.
Yeah, so obviously we do real well on the corporate side and individual side, but we've been able to team up with some partners. Obviously, George Strait. I mean, George Strait's been with us now for a number of years. I mean, he's given over 200 homes with us on stage. In fact, I'm heading out Friday. We're doing another one with him, and he just continues to want to partner with us. And Darius Rucker has been another one that has partnered, and we've done, the country music scene, and we had I'll never forget, one of the highlights for me was we did Kiss. I mean, Kiss was kind of fun. That was different. And that band has changed now to where they love to give back and support. But yeah, the musical industry has gravitated to us. We're doing a lot more in Nashville now. So Nashville has really come alongside us as well. But certainly, yeah, the George Straits and some of the other folks that have teamed up with him. And George is a great partner, no doubt about it.
Well, we've talked about what it means for the families, for the wounded veteran heroes. What does it mean for the corporate sponsors, for the corporate supporters, and the musicians to step alongside and be a part of these amazing storylines?
Yeah, the corporate partners that we have and additional ones that, are coming on board are just incredibly valuable, and they see the benefit of giving back, right? And so whatever sponsorship level they decide to come alongside, they have a direct piece with that. Many of our, the homes or the cars or Leadership for Life, when they contribute to something like that, they're involved in a presentation. I mean, we want to involve them in that. And it's very important to do that, whether it's, a concert or a football game or wherever that may be. Their corporate headquarters, we allow them to hand the key to the hero. They meet the families, they stay in touch with the families, or a car, whatever that may be. The reality is that they're part of that. And I'll say this, that the corporate piece is so important because they want to partner with a nonprofit that's responsible. And I can tell you this, that our admin line, the amount of money that is spent on, what we need to do at the office is only 5%. So 95% of every dollar goes back to the heroes. That's big. That's why some of the largest companies across the country deal with us, because we're fiscally sound and we want to make sure that we continue to give that to them. But ultimately, they want to help out. They know the heroes after they're done. They spend time with them. Obviously, it's a huge tax incentive to be able to partner with a nonprofit as well. But it's so much more than that. They're true partners of ours.
So talk about how the community can support your efforts.
Yeah, I tell you what, the best way is go to militarywarriors.org. There's a ton of great videos on there, an opportunity to support. I'm here locally in Memphis, travel the country, talking to individuals and companies about supporting our combat wounded heroes. Obviously, we'll be with you, City Current, in both Memphis and Nashville, and look forward to, talking there as well. I'll say this too, if they want to reach out to me individually, please go ahead and do that. Dave@militarywarriors.org. My cell number's on there, and they can reach out. Be glad to answer any questions. And even if they just want some more information about how they can get involved and be part of that. We do a lot of stuff here in Memphis. We've got a very large military golf tournament that we're doing October 25th here locally. It's going to be a huge fundraiser. It's already in the works. And there's a lot of different ways to be able to partner.
Give me a couple of your goals when you look at finishing out 2024, building for 2025. What are some of the metrics you're looking at, the success metrics, the goals, for finishing out this year and looking at next year?
Yeah, I think for us, it's coming alongside some of those sponsors that really kind of want to put something in action. And so we've got a number of different markets across the country. But certainly Nashville. Nashville is a big market that we're really trying to penetrate. We've done well in Memphis. We continue to do well. The ball is really rolling quickly in Nashville. So from that standpoint, we're looking to come alongside 3 to 5 partners within Nashville that would say, you know what, this is something I can get behind, and it's fiscally sound. And yet there's a power of the good story in it, right? Obviously, to be able to come alongside a Tennessee, Nashville hero, whether it's a vehicle or Hope for Heroes, being able to help them reduce personal debt. I think the incredible thing for an individual or a company is just the ability to be able to meet these heroes and know that what they're doing is changing lives. And it really is. I'm glad you mentioned the generational piece, because it really does change generations. And I'll tell you this, there was a hero that we gave a home away to in Texas. And the reality is now it's their son. Their son is in their 20s now. And he was able to go through and have a successful high school career, now into college. And those are the generations. He's going to tell his kids that, you know what, we were able to do this because of partners and others that came alongside of us.
Yeah, absolutely. The website again, militarywarriors.org. So militarywarriors.org. Dave Lieske with Military Warriors Support Foundation. Thank you for all you and your amazing team do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Jeremy, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.